What's up, Lacuacheros? This is Jeff, your travel buddy. With over 2 decades of exploring 55 cities across 26 countries, I am here to share some amazing finds, travel hacks, tips, and tricks. Ready for your next adventure? Fasten your seatbelt, let's go! In today's edition of Jeffy Travels, let's explore Seoul, South Korea. Kaja! I've visited South Korea many times, and let me give you an overview of how much you'll probably spend for a solo travel. Get ready to take down notes of what you think would be best applicable for you. Let's start with airfare. Piso fare. If you're very patient, lucky, and not tied up to a specific travel date, you can soldier on and score some 5,000 to 8,000 pesos range, inclusive of taxes and fees, but with no add-ons like checked-in luggage allowance, seat pre-selection, and in-flight meals. Promo fare would typically range from 8,000 to 12,000 pesos all-in fare. Low fare is what I usually get, from 12,000 to 16,000 pesos, and this could go up to some 18,000 to 19,000 pesos with your add-ons. Regular fares for budget airlines can sometimes be north of 20,000 or even higher, especially during major holidays like cherry blossom season, etc. Tip number 1. When you book your ticket, get your add-on included already for the check-in luggage allowance so it's cheaper. Most especially if you will travel with winter clothes, and make sure to account for your shopping when you fly back. Trust me, even if you're traveling to Korea in the summer for a 4-day, 3-night itinerary, the stuff that you would need would not fit in your complimentary 7-kilogram carry-on luggage, which airlines, by the way, oftentimes weigh as well during the ground check-in. Tip number 2. Assess if a cheaper flight, usually arriving in Seoul late in the evening, or those with a connection, example via Cebu, which adds up to your time significantly, is something you're willing to take versus a flight that's probably 2,000 pesos or more expensive, but you would still get to explore the city for at least a good half day or probably even more. The flight arriving late at night, for instance, makes it extremely challenging for you to get the cheapest mode of transportation to get to the city and catch the last train departing Incheon Airport at about 11:10 p.m. We will briefly compare the details of the airport transfer options a little bit later. Tip number 3. Pay your Philippine travel tax of 1,620 pesos a few days before departure to save time at the airport. Check out Tiesa online for a convenient way of doing this. Accommodations. Let me concentrate on my 2 favorite areas in Seoul, Myeongdong and Hongdae. Bunk bed and hostel types would normally range from 3,000 to 5,000 pesos, while the modest hotel rooms would be anywhere between 4,000 to 7,000 pesos per night. Big chain hotels would be somewhere in the 12,000 for 3 stars and about 13,000 to even 20,000 pesos per night for the fancier hotels. Tip number 4. I strongly recommend that you book hotels that are near subway stations or bus stops. We're talking about 5 to 7 minutes walking distance only. Tip number 5. As you book your rooms in advance, always select the option marked with free cancellation or pay at the hotel upon check-in. You will then consistently monitor accommodation rates, because chances are you would still be able to see further price reductions later. Therefore, you can cancel the old reservation and book the new one at a cheaper rate. Agoda has accommodations offering this feature, and I think Airbnb recently introduced something similar for some properties. Airport transfers. Some points to consider depending on your situation or preferences include 1. Your flight arrival at Incheon Airport and finishing immigration and baggage claim. 2. How much luggage you carry. 3. Travel times and traffic. 4. Your overall convenience. And finally, 5. Price points. The all-stop train is the cheapest option for 4,151 or 175 pesos, which departs every 5 to 10 minutes and will get you to the city within about an hour. Express train or RX costs 9,501 or 400 pesos, and trains depart every 20 to 40 minutes and would take you about 40 minutes to get to the city. Airport limousine buses with 9 to 14 routes to Seoul are 17,001 or 720 pesos. Buses depart Terminal 1 every 15 or so minutes, but there are longer wait times between the 12 and 5 a.m. intervals. Depending on the time of the day and traffic situation, travel time can be between 60 to 90 minutes. Taxis and private cars are also available, but are way more expensive compared to the earlier options. Tip number 6. You may pre-book your RX or Airport Express train, airport limousine bus, or private cars and van rentals via Klook. This is recommended especially if you don't have your T-Money card just yet. Tip number 7, and my recommendation. If you prefer just one ride to the city, for example to Hongdae near Hongik University subway station, take the all-stop train from Terminal 1. If your hotel is near the Myeongdong station, take the airport limousine bus 6001 or 6015. Tip number 8. Airport bus tickets can be bought from various counters and machine booths before exiting the arrival gates and even right outside the designated waiting areas. Similarly, you can tap your T-Money card or pay in Korean won cash upon entering the bus. Getting around or daily commute. Take the subway and the bus. It's the cheapest way to go around Seoul. Make sure you have your T-Money cards with you all the time. On average, you're looking at spending some 400 pesos per day on your subway and bus fares. Tip number 9. Get and top up your T-Money cards from any subway station, tourist information centers, or most convenience stores. Note that you can only load your T-Money card using cash because credit cards are not yet accepted for reloads. Tip number 10. As of July 2024, Seoul has launched the short-term climate card for foreign tourists. This is a transit pass that gives you unlimited access to Seoul's public transport. Select from 1, 2, 3, 5, and 7-day options. Tip number 11. Plan your daily itinerary for subway and bus times via Google Maps or Naver Maps for more convenient and efficient daily scheduling and planning. Meals and snacks. Convenience store meals, usually for breakfast and snacks, would be about 150 to 200 pesos. The same goes for your street food and snacking and treats. A typical Korean restaurant lunch or dinner can be anywhere between 400 pesos to 1,500 pesos per person. Tip number 12. Thoroughly research for the best and most affordable eats before your actual travel dates. I keep an active and evolving Google map of pinned restaurants in the key cities I travel to. Tip number 13. The cheap to moderately priced good Korean restaurants are typically those that serve specialty menus only, as in like 1 to 4 types of food selection. Pretty straightforward and fast moving. Tip number 14. Don't get intimidated by the Michelin star rating restaurants. I mean, the Bib Gourmand category is the budget-friendly version. Seoul has plenty of these places all over the city. While samgyeopsal is the favorite of many, and mind you, you will taste the difference between the pork in Korea versus the ones in the Philippines, especially the unlimited Korean barbecue places here. A few months ago, I discovered the joy of the Black Pig samgyeopsal, which is the premium version, and boy, I was speechless. Most restaurants would require a solo diner, 2 orders of pork belly at the minimum. Yeah, I know, it's a bummer. Tip number 16. There's more to Korean food apart from pork belly, bibimbap, and bulgogi. Go ahead and try samgyeopsal, gamjatang, jjajangmyeon, soy crab, gopchang, kalguksu, oxbone soup, galbijim, and so much more. Tip number 17. Know that Korean street foods are much more expensive in the touristy areas like Myeongdong versus the local markets. Gwangjang Market is quite popular, though recent reviews from locals and travelers indicate that prices are becoming a bit touristy already. Check out other local markets like Namdaemun, Dongdaemun, Mangwon, and others. Mobile Internet. Pocket Wi-Fi at eSIM can range from 100 to 250 pesos per day. Tip number 18. Pre-book online in Tracy or Klook instead of getting this upon arrival. Pocket Wi-Fi rental counters are open 24 hours. Credit cards are required for device security deposit. No debit cards or cash accepted. Tours and attractions. Now this can be highly customizable and you can set your limit. Some attractions are either for free or have very minimal entrance fees. I would allot maybe 5,000 pesos for some 2 to 3 paid standard attractions within the city of Seoul. For out-of-town day tours, you can pre-book this via Klook so that you wouldn't have to worry about anything. Day tours can range from 3,000 to 7,000 pesos on an average, depending on what you book and on the season. Shopping and pasalubong. This is optional and pre-budgeted, but let me give you my pro tips when shopping in Seoul. Skincare. Make a list. Do some preliminary online reviews of what items you want to get. Don't get too excited and overwhelmed to buy right away from the popular Olive Young. Feel free to compare prices and deals from other stores, even pharmacies. Apple products would turn out some 50 to 20% cheaper with a pricing and tax refund. Clothes. Koreans have a great fashion sense, so get the local brands. Shoes, not super far from Philippine prices, but you may see some hard-to-find colorways in Seoul. Luxury brands, I do not recommend Seoul. You're better off in Europe and in Japan, or cities with outlet shopping. Other local brands that are worth mentioning: Blue Elephant and Gentle Monster for eyewear. Meanwhile, for Korean perfume brands that you will certainly love, Tambourines, Grand Hand, Nonfiction, among others. I did a review of these on my TikTok vlog. Accessories and trinkets, I've got 3 words for you: subway underground shopping. Lastly, Korean goodies and food items at the supermarket are also great pasalubong items, but make sure to factor in your baggage allowance. Final shopping pro tip: bring your passport when shopping to check for tax refund eligibility, which can either be given out right upon purchase or reimbursed at the airport. I'd say a modest budget of 10 to 15,000 pesos would already put a smile on your face with some Korean shopping experience. So to summarize, let me give you some sample overall costing ranges for a 5-day and 4-night travel itinerary traveling solo. Low or tipid budget travel mode can be inexpensive at 45,000 pesos overall, but would require some major planning, patience, strategizing, and self-discipline. Medium tier or chill spending budget mode of about 66,000 pesos overall, while the pricier end would be in the 117,000 pesos range overall budget. That's a wrap for today's guide to Seoul. Follow me for more travel tips on #JeffyTravels via TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Link in my bio. Let's keep exploring. Safe travels. Goodbye.